Okay, let's dive in. Ever feel like you're drowning in tabs and windows? Just constantly juggling things on one small screen.
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling of needing more digital feeling of just, especially when you're trying to really learn something or piece information together.
Totally, exactly.
What if there was
and that's where dual
a
monitors come
strategy
in.
that
It's this
cuts
idea of
through
expanding your
that,
digital
focuses on
workspace,
one specific
making everything
crypto,
feel,
maybe
I don't know,
a clearer set
more
of rules.
fluid. Well, that's pretty much what we're digging into today.
And it's interesting, isn't it, how a simple hardware change, just adding
We're
a screen,
dissecting a YouTube video. It's from the Stock Market Education by Mukul Agrawal
Well,
channel.
when information is just
the title is Crypto Trading Strategies,
visible, you
Crypto
sort of
Trading for
reduce that
Beginners
mental load of
Cryptocurrency.
constantly switching context.
And what grabbed us
like remembering
is,
what was
it
in
goes
that
beyond
window
just
you just
Bitcoin and
minimized.
Ethereum.
Precisely.
It
It frees up
mental
bandwidth
for
the actual
learning.
Yeah,
or
it starts
the
with some
task at hand.
basics. Okay, so that's the promise.
legal, tax
And
stuff,
in this
I think,
deep
for
dive,
India,
we're looking at exactly how to set up mechanics like
dual
leverage.
monitor or
But the
maybe
real
even
meat for us,
multi-monitor
the thing we
system.
want to unpack, is
Works
this
with a
one
laptop
trading
or
strategy
PC.
for a particular
And we're
altcoin.
pulling our insights today from a
So our
YouTube
goal
video
here
from the
really is
channel
to pull
My
out the
Big
core
Guide,
ideas of this
and the
approach.
title is
Understand the why behind
OMG,
it.
How to
And,
Set Up
you know,
Dual
look at its
Monitors,
potential.
Multi-Monitor Setup
Both
with
for
Laptop
profit
or PC.
and,
Windows
crucially,
11.
managing
Windows
risk.
11 specifically.
We're doing this
So our
specifically
mission
for
here
you,
is basically
someone
to
who
pull
wants
out the
to get
key
up to
steps,
speed
the
without
real
getting
benefits
lost
for
in all
you,
the
the learner,
complexity.
and make
Okay,
it super
let's
clear.
get into it.
Yeah,
then.
without getting
The
lost
heart of
in
the
like
strategy.
super
So the
technical
basic
jargon, just the
idea,
practical stuff.
fundamentally,
Perfect. So
is
let's
to
talk
find
benefits
a
first.
crypto
Why bother?
with, well, good
The
price
video
swings.
kicks off showing
Good
something pretty
volatility.
fundamental,
Right.
and then
The
trade
dragging
it
action.
using
Yeah.
EMAs,
Dragging a window
Exponential
like a
Moving
file
Averages.
explorer.
On a short time
smoothly
frame,
from one
too,
screen
mostly
right
the
onto the
5-minute
other.
chart.
And
although
that
they do
simple
mention the
visual
15-minute as well,
immediately shows
maybe.
the power
And
of
straight
extending
away,
your
it
display. It's
suggests
not two separate
looking
islands.
beyond
It
the big
becomes
players,
one connected
BTC,
space,
ETH,
like getting a
maybe
bigger
find
desk.
more,
Decorative digital desk,
dynamic
yeah.
moves elsewhere.
And for you
Yeah,
listening,
it fits
if you're
that
trying
idea
to learn
that sometimes
efficiently,
the interesting
picture
stuff
this.
happens
You've
where
got
maybe
maybe a
fewer
research
people are
paper
looking. Less
or
crowded
a
trades,
video
perhaps?
tutorial on
specific
one
crypto they
screen,
spotlight.
and your notes or maybe
Solana,
the software you're
SOL.
learning
Which
open
the
on the
reasoning
other.
makes
No
sense.
more
They look for
frantic
something with
alt
decent
tabbing.
volume.
It
Gotta
stays
have
put.
buyers and sellers.
That
And
information
importantly,
is just
trending
persistently
behavior.
there.
The idea being, if
And
it tends to move in a
neurologically, that
direction
might
up or
actually
down,
help
It
create
might
a
offer bigger
stronger
opportunities
mental
than
map
something
of
just
your
dropping
workspace.
sideways.
Instead of
Makes sense.
reloading
Okay,
that mental
so the
image every
tools.
time you switch windows.
EMAs.
Exactly.
They
Which
specify
could,
using
two.
two.
Potentially
A
lead
10-period
to
EMA
better
and a
synthesis, better
17-period
retention. It's a
EMA.
real boost
And
for
a
focused
simple
learning.
but
Okay, makes
like
sense.
really
Now,
important
the video
tip.
touches on two
Use
main
different
modes
colors.
these
Yeah,
monitors can
absolutely.
operate.
Yeah.
Visual
First one
distinction
is
key when
duplicate.
you're making quick calls
Right,
on a
duplicate.
5-minute chart.
Pretty
Definitely.
self-explanatory.
And
Shows the
EMA,
exact
just
same
it
thing
gives
on
more
both
weight
screens.
to
Which is useful
recent
when?
prices,
Like
right? So
presentations.
it's more sensitive
Yeah,
to
exactly.
short-term shifts.
If you're showing
Exactly
something
why
to
it's
others,
useful on
maybe
these
on a
lower
larger
time
screen
frames.
or projector,
Okay, so let's break
duplicate
down the
mode
sell
ensures
strategy
they see
first.
what you see.
Right, and this is where it gets
Simple.
interesting
But
in
for
terms of
individual
filtering
productivity,
signals.
for
Yeah,
that
the
learning
emphasizing
scenario
if the
we talked
market's
about,
generally
the
heading
real
down,
magic is in
you don't
the
just sell the moment the
extend
10
mode.
EMA
That's the
crosses
one.
below
Extend
the
these
17.
displays.
That's not
what
the
creates
trigger.
that single
No,
large
that initial
continuous
crossover,
desktop
isn't it?
across
You
all
wait.
your
The
screens.
actual
And that's
sell
where you get the real
entry,
estate
according
too.
to this,
Like,
comes after
spread
the
out
price
your
has already dropped,
applications,
and then it
arrange
kind of
things
bounces back
logically
up
for
to touch
whatever
the
you're
EMAs.
working on.
Yeah, you
That touch.
tailor the space
That's
to
your
your
cue
task.
to
It's
consider
incredibly
selling.
flexible.
And then the stop loss
Okay, so how do
placement
we
is
actually
very
set this
clear.
up?
Just
The
above
video shows
where
a
the
couple
price
of
touched
ways.
those EMAs.
Method
Your
one
safety net,
involves
basically.
diving into the
Protects
settings.
you if
Yep,
it whips
the
back
classic
the
way.
other way.
Right click
And
on your
taking
desktop.
profit.
What's the plan
Anywhere
there?
on the empty
Initially,
space.
they suggest aiming
And
for
then
a
you choose
2.1
display
risk reward.
settings.
So if your
from that
stop
menu
is,
that
say,
pops up.
10 points away,
And
what do
You're
we see
shooting
in
for a
there?
20-point
You'll
gain.
typically see these little
Standard stuff.
rectangles
But,
representing
and this is
your
smart, they
monitors,
bring in the
usually
trailing
with numbers
stop
on them,
loss.
like
Ah,
1 and 2.
yes.
Okay, so it detects them
For
automatically.
maximizing wins
Generally,
when it
yeah.
really moves
Windows
your
is
way.
pretty good at that
Exactly.
these days.
Let's say
These numbers
you
are just
sell
how the
SOL
system
at
identifies
$50.
them internally.
Initial stop's
for
at
the
$55.
settings.
Right.
Okay.
And
Price drops
somewhere
to
in those
$45.
settings,
We'll
you could
find
then
maybe
options
move your
for
stop down to
duplicate
$50
and
break even
extend.
locked in.
Exactly.
Right.
There'll
If
be a
it keeps
drop-down
going, say,
menu,
to
usually
$40,
labeled
maybe
something
you
like
trail your stop down again,
multiple
perhaps at
displays.
$45.
And in
Now
there
you've
you'll
locked
see
in a $5
duplicate
profit
these
minimum,
displays. It lets
which
you
we
ride the
probably don't
trend while
want for
protecting
productivity.
gains.
Makes a lot of
And then
sense.
And the
extend
buy
these displays.
strategy.
That's the
Pretty
key
much the
one
mirror
for
image, as
creating
you'd
that big
expect.
workspace.
So wait for the
Okay,
price to
click
dip below the
extend.
EMAs.
Now,
first.
here's
Then the
something I always
signal is
wondered
when
about.
it retraces
How does
up
it
and
know
touches which monitor is which.
And the stop loss
Like
goes
physically.
just below that touch point. Simple inversion.
Yep.
When you're
But
in
now,
extend mode,
the tricky part,
way you move your mouse or
avoiding
drag
those false
windows between
breakouts,
them depends
especially
on
on
how
short
Windows
time frames.
thinks
They
they're
happen
arranged
all the
versus
time.
how they actually are on your desk.
Looks like it's
So
going,
they
then
might
bam,
be
reverse
mismatched
it.
initially.
How does the strategy try to handle
You might
that?
have your second
Because that
monitor
seems
physically
key
on
to
the
avoiding
left,
sideways
but
market.
Windows
It
thinks it's on
uses
the right.
this specific
So you'd
weighting rule, this
instinctively try to drag left, but
confirmation
nothing
step.
happens. You'd
Okay,
actually have to
imagine
drag
price
right
breaks
off
up
your main screen
above
edge.
the EMAs.
Okay, that sounds
Right.
confusing.
Don't buy
It
immediately.
can be at
Wait.
first,
Wait for
but
it to
the
pull back
display
down
settings
and
usually
touch
let
the
you fix
EMAs
that.
again. The
You
retest.
can
Okay, the
typically
retest.
click and
Got it.
drag
The buy
those
entry
numbered
only
monitor
triggers
icons
if,
around in
after
the
that
settings window
retest
to
touch,
match their actual actual
price
physical
then closes
placement
above
on your
what they
desk.
call a box.
So you tell Windows
that forms
no,
right
monitor
there.
2 is actually
like a
over
little
here.
consolidation area. You align the
Exactly. Think
virtual
of
layout with the
drawing a
physical
little
one,
horizontal
then
box around
dragging
the price
becomes
action
totally
of that
intuitive.
retest candle.
The
Maybe
video's
the
visual
next
of
candle or
dragging
two
that
right
file
after the touch.
explorer really
You need
helps
the price to
illustrate
break out
this.
above the top of that
And
little
also in
range.
display settings, there's the
Okay, so
make
it's not
this
just
my
the
main
touch, it's
display
the
option.
touch
What's
plus
that do?
breaking
That
that
just
immediate
determines
little
which
high
screen gets
after
your
the
primary
touch.
stuff,
Precisely.
like
If it
where
touches,
the
maybe
taskbar
tries to go up,
appears by default,
but fails to
where
close
new
above that little
applications
box.
tend
Then
to
you just
open
don't take the
first,
trade. The
that
setup's
sort of thing.
invalidated.
So you choose
Correct.
the monitor
And
you
the same
prefer as
logic
your home
applies
base.
for a downward breakout.
Basically.
Price
Just click on
breaks
the monitor
below the
icon,
EMAs.
wait for
You
the
wanna
retrace
remain
back
one
up
in
to
the settings,
touch them,
and
and then check that little
And
box.
you only
simple.
consider
Okay, so
selling
display
if the price
settings give
then
you
decisively
quite a bit of
breaks
control.
below
They do.
that
It's the
little
most
consolidation
comprehensive
box
way
that forms around
to
the
set
retest
things
touch.
up. So wait for that
But the
mini
video
support
also
level
showed a
to
shortcut,
break after
right?
the
Something
retest.
quicker.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the
that
Windows
waiting, that
key plus
confirmation
P
is the
shortcut.
filter.
Super
They really
handy.
stress
Windows plus P.
if these
What happens
conditions
then?
aren't met after the
Pressing those
retest,
keys together
no
brings
trade.
up this little
That
sidebar
seems like a really
menu,
practical
usually on the
way
right
to
side
try
of your
and stay
screen.
out of
It has the same
choppy,
options.
Pretty much the
sideways
core
action
ones,
where you
yeah.
can get
You'll
stopped
see
out
options
repeatedly.
like PC
It's
screen
patience,
only, which
basically.
It is.
uses
It's
your
waiting for
main
that extra bit of
laptop or
proof.
single
Yeah.
monitor.
And speaking of getting
Then
stopped out,
duplicate,
the
extend,
video
and
is
sometimes
really
second screen
strong on
only,
using
depending on the
strict stop
system.
losses.
So you can quickly
Absolutely
switch to
essential
extend
in
mode
crypto, right?
just using
Given
the
the
keyboard.
volatility.
Exactly.
hugely. The
Windows
image
plus
moves of,
P, click
like
extend,
thousands
done.
of points, percentage
It's great
points.
for quickly switching modes
in
without
maybe 15
digging through
minutes
settings
sometimes.
menus.
Wow.
Like if you
Yeah,
disconnect
so
your
no room
laptop
for
to go
hoping
to a
it comes
meeting,
back.
you might hit
None.
Win
Stick
plus
to the
P
plan,
and choose
exit if
PC
it hits your
screen
stop.
only.
That whole
Nice.
hope trading thing is just
Okay, so those are the two
dangerous
main
here.
ways.
And that ties into
Display
another
settings
point
for
they made, which I
fine-tuning,
found interesting.
Windows plus
about
P for quick
success.
switching.
It's
That
not
covers the
necessarily
technical
about winning
setup
every
basics
trade or
shown
even
in the
most
tutorial
trades.
part of the
It's
video,
about
yeah.
increasing
Right,
the
because the
probability
video
of your
then-
wins being
Well,
significant.
it shifts gears a bit, doesn't
They
it?
even
It does.
suggest
After
like a
showing the dual
40% win
monitor
rate could
setup,
still be
it
profitable.
transitions
If
into
your
talking
wins
about
are,
other
say,
learning
twice
resources
as big
that
as
the
your
channel,
losses, my big
because you
guide
cut losses
offers.
quickly with
Yeah,
the stops and
specifically
let
some
winners
paid
run a
computer
bit.
skills
Exactly.
courses.
It's about
That's right.
selectivity.
They introduced
Quality
a
over
pretty
quantity of
comprehensive
trades.
package. They
Aiming for
mentioned
those
having, I
higher
think, over
probability setups.
20
They also briefly
professional
mentioned
courses
leverage.
bundled together.
And they offer it in
Acknowledging
two
it's
formats.
widely available
On a 32
often at
GB
high
pen
levels in
drive,
crypto.
but with a strong caution,
as
right?
online
Don't
courses
overdo
you
it.
can
It
access
magnifies
immediately.
losses
And they listed a whole
just
bunch
as
of
much as
extras that
gains.
come with
Absolutely.
the pen drive
And they
version
also touch on
especially.
broker choice.
Yeah, it was quite a list.
Emphasizing
Things like
liquidity, making sure there are
printable
enough
computer
buyers and
charts.
sellers.
Yeah, so you can get
A
your orders
huge
filled
collection, like
promptly near the
1,800
price you
plus
want. They
PDF
mentioned Delta
shortcuts for
specifically
different
in the
software.
video, perceiving
Wow.
it as having good
Ebooks for
volume.
basics
And
like
one more thing
Word,
for anyone
Excel,
thinking of trying this.
PowerPoint, computer
Practice.
fundamentals,
Oh,
even
yeah, they
computer
really stress
magazines.
that. Watch the
Apparently.
video
Okay. Anything
multiple
else?
times.
Let's see.
Understand
They
fully.
mentioned a
And then
Hindi typing
practice.
sticker, which is
Paper
interesting,
trade,
an
maybe?
advanced Excel
Before
course,
using
and they
real
made a
money.
point
They kind
about
of
some
imply
unique
that
Excel
losses often
shortcut
happen not
stickers that
because
aren't
the
available
strategy is
elsewhere.
bad, but because
Specific
people
aids.
lack
Yeah,
patience
and then
or
some
haven't
physical
practiced
goodies
enough.
too,
Yeah,
like a
not sticking to the
2-in-1
rules,
OTG
basically.
connector,
Which leads to the final
presumably
point,
for
limited trading.
using the pen
Right.
drive with
Especially
a phone
on
or
a
tablet.
5-minute chart,
maybe.
you could see
A
signals
keychain with
constantly,
shortcuts, and
But
even
the
a
goal
premium
isn't to
mouse
trade every
pad,
signal.
also
It's
with
to be
shortcuts
precise.
printed on it.
So it's like a
Find
whole
the good
learning
setups
kit
that meet all
almost.
the rules.
It definitely
Become a
seems like
master
they're
of
trying
this
to
one
provide a
approach,
very
rather
broad
than
set of tools
dabbling
and
everywhere.
resources
Makes
beyond
sense,
just
be
video
precise.
tutorials.
So let's
They
try
also
and summarize
mentioned
the key
lifetime
pieces
validity
here.
for
The
the courses.
core
Lifetime
of this
access is
Solana
always
EMA
appealing.
strategy.
And free
It's
delivery
focusing
in
on those
India for the
retracements
pen
after
after
an
an
Right,
initial
and they
move,
framed
not
it
the
around
first
a
move
limited time
itself.
offer,
Then
which
that
was running
crucial
back in
box
late
confirmation
January when
rule,
the video
waiting
was
for the
likely
break
posted.
after the retest
With a
to
specific
filter out
price
fakes.
point mentioned
The
for the pen
absolute
drive course.
necessity of strict
And they really
stop
emphasize
losses,
the value of all those
non-negotiable.
free
And the
gifts.
potential
Standard
to boost
promotional
profits
approach,
using
yeah,
a trailing
making the
stop
package
loss.
seem
And
extra
finally,
valuable.
And
that
how do
mindset
people find out
shift.
more?
They
Prioritize
pointed
fewer,
viewers to a
higher
link,
quality
either in the
trades.
video description or shown on
Precision.
screen.
And this feels
and
relevant
also
for you,
mentioned
the
their
listener,
website,
because
which
it
sounded like
offers,
online.
well, a defined structure, a
.com,
clear
Okay.
plan you could
And they
potentially
explain the
follow in the
difference
crypto
between the
space.
physical physical pen
Yeah, instead of feeling
which
lost, it
takes
gives you specific
7-10
rules.
working days for
A
delivery.
potential
Versus
edge
the
without
online
being overly
course option.
complicated.
Which gives you
And that logic,
instant
especially
access.
around waiting
So
for the
catering to
confirmation,
different
that
preferences
box
there.
Did they
rule.
mention anything about
That
course
could be a
quality?
real light bulb
They
moment for
briefly
avoiding those
touched
frustrating
on having
sideways
demos
grinds.
available on the
Definitely.
website,
Understanding why you're
mentioned
not
positive
taking a
student
trade can be
ratings,
as important
and
as
noted
knowing
that you
when
get
to
a
take one.
certificate
So here's maybe
upon
the final thought
completing
to
the
leave you
online
with.
course.
Standard
Could
features for online
narrowing your
courses
focus like
and
this,
a contact
concentrating
number
on,
for
say,
questions.
Yep,
Solana,
they provided
any
a number
specific
too.
EMA rules,
So yeah,
could
a pretty
that be your
detailed
key
promotion
to
finding
more
broader
consistency
educational
in crypto?
offerings
Or
woven into
maybe
the
take it a step
tutorial
further.
video.
What
It
other,
shows how these
perhaps
channels
less
often
mainstream
build out
cryptocurrencies
from
might
free
show
tutorials
that kind
to
of
more
trending
in-depth
behavior
paid
this
content,
strategy
doesn't
tries
it?
to capture?
Absolutely. It's a
Something to
common
think
model,
about for sure.
provide
It gives
value
you a specific
upfront,
lens, a
then offer
focused
more
way to look at the
comprehensive
market.
solutions.
Okay, so let's circle back to the core idea for you, the listener, the learner.